Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. And I hope you have an amazing 2024. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a video that I saw. I felt like I am definitely bringing it here because a pop-colored person was telling black person that white people also experience racism, and she was like, black people are a joke for saying that white people cannot experience racism. And I am asking, there is nothing like reverse racism because they are always very quick to say that black people can be racist to them and all that. And I ask, what power do black people uphold to be racist towards you, or black people do not have that power? They can be prejudiced or anything or mean or something to you, but they do not have that power to be racist to you. And one of the sisters actually explained some certain things, and she was like, most of you all experience, palm color people experience racism, but it is not from people that look like me. It is from people that look like them. And that really made a lot of sense because I guess this is the kind of answer she was waiting for, and she heard it. So sincerely speaking, you all can experience racism, but it is from people that look like you, not people that look like me. Let's get into this video.
This comment says, so whites can't experience racism. Then it goes on to say that I'm a joke, right? Apparently. Feels like I cover this topic multiple times a day. But you know what? It's content for me, so let's run it back one more time. Now let's start with the basic definition that y'all just love to look up on Google and run with, right? The definition that says the belief that race accounts for differences in human characteristics or ability, and that a particular race is superior to another, or discrimination or prejudice based on race. To base your entire view on what racism is based on that definition is, quite frankly, lazy and disingenuous at best. And even the people like the ones in my comments right now claiming to not see race, yeah, colorblindness is still racism, because by being colorblind, you are overlooking instances of racial inequality. Claiming to be colorblind allows individuals to still hold covertly racist ideas. Colorblind racism is a form of discrimination in which individuals claim to ignore other skin color completely and therefore believes that they are treating all racial groups equally. This perpetuates discriminatory practices by allowing people to ignore circumstances that cause racial disparities. And people who claim this viewpoint of being colorblind also hold the belief that people of all races are treated equally and have the same opportunities within a racialized society. And that is not true. It wasn't true then. It's not true now. See, racism and prejudice are two different things. Racism is a stronger type of prejudice and discrimination used to justify inequalities against individuals by maintaining that one racial group is superior or inferior than the others. It is a set of practices used by racial dominant groups to maximize advantages for themselves by disadvantaging other racial minority groups. These practices affect wealth gap, employment, housing discrimination, government surveillance, incarceration, drug arrests, immigrant arrests, infant mortality, and much more. Racism is when prejudice meets an unproportionate amount of wealth, privilege, and power owned or gained or attained or given to one racial group, while the rest are denied such things, like resources, like equal opportunity, like fair treatment. Again, color avoidance racism, also called color blindness, is an avoidance of racial language by European Americans that ignores the fact that racism continues to be an issue. If I say I don't see it, it ceases to exist. No. Now again, it's very important to know the differences between stereotype, prejudice, discrimination, and racism. And I often hear white people say to me that they experience racism on an interpersonal level, that anyone can be racist to anybody else interpersonally. But that is false. Because racism, no matter which way you look at it, no matter how you slice it, no matter what level or type of racism you're dealing with, is always going to be in the benefit of white people. You see, all of the different types of racism, the different levels of racism, exist as part of the larger system that is race plus ism, as you can see there. These types of racism stem from racism. The ism in the word denotes a system. And racism was created to be exclusive to whiteness. Whiteness, which isn't real. Race isn't real. It was made up by Europeans, specifically for purposes of anti-blackness and anti-indigeneity. There never has been a time since the creation of race that racism has negatively affected white people, other than their mental well-being and genetic narcissistic tendencies, but I digress. Again, prejudice and discrimination are inherently tied to historically rooted and entrenched institutionalized forms of systemic racism and racial hierarchies, injustices, and power imbalance. The continued lack of diverse representation in political, social, and economic positions of influence is just one of many indicators that we're still a long way from living in a post-racial society. So all that "I don't see color," we know you do, and we know you're lying. White people may be called a derogatory name with reference to their whiteness. Be discriminated against, for example, by an ethnic business owner who prefers to employ someone else of their own background. This sometimes may be unlawful. Sometimes it may be a lawful form of affirmative action or diversity inclusion, aimed at reducing historically entrenched, intergenerational, and systemic inequalities. But in all these instances, regardless of whether it is lawful or not, the terms racism and reverse racism do not apply. A racist is one who is both privileged and socialized on the basis of race by a white supremacist racist system. The term applies to all white people of European descent living in the United States, regardless of class, gender, religion, culture, or sexuality. By this definition, Black people cannot be racist, because as people within this U.S. system, we do not have the power to back up our prejudices, hostilities, or acts of discrimination. Black people have not founded an entire nation spread across the globe sharing an ideology that supports our supremacy and that simultaneously dehumanizes people who are not us, white people namely. We have not taken this ideology of something called race that means distinct differences within people of varying skin colors or ancestry and gone across the entire globe, raping and pillaging entire populations of people while exploiting them and their resources for our personal gain. There is no social norm that says that Black is good and white is bad. There is no social norm of anti-whiteness. So again, you cannot experience racism if you are a white person. Prejudice, yes. Discrimination, yes. Racism, no. Words have meaning, so make sure you're using the right one. So whites can't experience racism.
You know, my good sister has the patience of Job with you all. I do fucking not. And I know for a fact that she has covered this topic with you all ad nauseum. I've watched. She's not left a stone unturned, but you are never happy with the accurate answer that she gives you. So I'm going to give you the answer that you want. Yes, white people can experience racism. Let me tell you a story. My mentor was a freedom rider in the Deep South, registering Black people to vote. They were on a bus. She went into the store. She was only 17 at the time. She lied about her age because she believed in movement, and she wanted to be a part of freeing us from struggle. She goes into a store, a little country store in Alabama, buys the things that she needs, and then she comes walking out of the store. Well, all of these people, your people in Alabama, found out that people from outside the state, my people, had come to register our people to vote, and they followed the bus. So when she walked out of the store, there was one of your people, a man, standing there waiting for her to come out with a double-barrel shotgun. He took aim and he fired. And when he fired, there was another man that looked like you. He was a priest. He was also on that bus, registering people that looked like me. to vote. And he jumped in front of her. And he took 2 shots for my mentor. And he died right there at the door of that old country store. That man experienced racism. But what you do not understand is when people that look like you experience racism, it comes from people that look like you. And it is not until people that look like you completely deconstruct their own biases, their own privilege, and their own understandings of race as they have been taught, when they actually do the anti-racism work in word and deed, when they make that choice, your people begin to other them. We understand the seriousness of doing anti-racism work. Because once you completely dive into anti-racism work, you take it in to your consciousness. There is no going back. You are now at the point of no return in your people's eyes. You're no longer good. You're no longer valuable in your people's eyes because you are no longer willing to uphold the thoughts of supremacy that keep your people winning. So yes, your people can experience racism, but it doesn't come from us. It comes from people that look just like you. Is that the answer that you're seeking? Because it's goddamn sure the truth.
She absolutely got the answer she was looking for because there is no better answer to this. I mean, what a story! Like you saw me, like react. Like I was really like in shock. It is amazing. I don't know, but like it is amazing how they are very quick to come out to jump out to tell you that they experience racism too. But you all know that it's not true. There is nothing like reverse racism and all that. It is just racism. Black people can be prejudiced or any, but they do not uphold any power to be racist to palm-colored people. And I am sure some of them know all this. They really do know, but they still want to argue, And you heard what this woman said, that when they experience it, it is not even from people that look like me. It is from people that look like them. Because it was someone that looked like her that took the shot, that shot, that Pe0ple, So it is crazy how they do some certain things, and man, trust me, I am just trying to process the story she told, and sincerely speaking, these people can really be extremists, When you see those people that are extremely racist, they are extremists, and how they just, what triggered them, that just because somebody that looks like me came from another state to register to vote, maybe in their own state or something, that is just what triggered them. Did they do anything to the person? No. Does he know them before? No. He does not know them. Probably might have not had any encounter with them, but just because he heard that some people that they do not like, or someone that does not look like him just came from another place into our town, and that was just it. Do black people have sundown town? No. It is still them that have sundown town, where people like me cannot pass at a certain, time and all that. How do you, now I want to ask, I mean, the person that, how have black people ever, done something really like very horrible that you could like, what is it that black people have really done to you that made you think that black people can be racist? Because I never see where black people come out to do some silly things they do, like, or come out with pew to pew some people, or come to a town where it is probably predominantly black and then see a palm colored person and one, all this kind of stories. But every day in, day out, black people have all these experiences. Day in, day out. They do not experience like when you go to the mall to buy something and someone is following you around, or maybe you are, as a black person, someone that looks like me, you are just innocently walking on your own and somebody like feels that somebody is walking behind me or something like that, and like grabs his back, like all those silly things they do to like to black people. They don't go to stores to buy something and put something in their cart and they call the cops on them because they feel like they are buying something very expensive, and they are asking, how were you able to afford to buy something like this? I can go on and on, but man, it's just very shitty. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.